Welcome back, guys. Look who I got back with me. Mr. AJ himself. /Aiden. Alright, so today we're going to go over step by step how to replace brake rotors and brake pads on the daily. Alright, what is in your hand?
A rotor.
Yeah, so when we replace the rotors, we want good brake pads. The brake pads collapse on the rotor, and that's what stops you. So these on this old car, they're pretty beat up and they look like they've never been changed. So today we're gonna work on changing them. All right.
Okay.
All right. Step one, you gotta jack the car up because you can't pull the tire off to work on the brakes with it on the ground, right? There's no way. So in order to jack the car up, what I personally do, I like loosening all the lug nuts first, and then you bring the jack to right here. There's jack points on every single car. There's a jack point somewhere right here, or you could use a part of the frame. The frame is the strongest part of the car. Okay, I'm gonna show you where the jack point's at, and then once we jack it up, we're gonna remove the wheel. You got it? All right. So the jack point is right here. See this little lip area?
Yeah.
Alright, so watch it. Bring the jack right there. Alright, right there. And you twist. No, not yet. You gotta twist it all the way to the right, clockwise, in order to tighten the pump. And then you can jack. Alright, hold on. Now, at this point, you don't want to leave the car up on the jack alone because it's moving parts, the jack could fail, and you don't want that. So this is when you use a jack stand. So this jack stand, you're going to find a piece of the frame and place it right there. Alright, so you see where I put it?
Yeah.
I put a piece of the frame. And now, at this point, we want to loosen the jack on it, okay? Alright, so now we turn it counterclockwise. You see the jack going down?
Yeah.
Alright. We could leave the jack under the car if we want, but it's propped open perfectly fine. And we also have a stopper on the back wheel so the car doesn't slide back.
Yeah. I can see that. It's wood.
Go ahead. So what I like to do, you can either put them on a magnet, like a magnet tray. I like to keep them all together so that way I know where to go back to them. Alright, so now you can put this over there with it. And now the time is to take the tire off. So go ahead and take the tire off. Alright, so with the tire, what I like doing me personally, is even though we have a jack stand right holding up the car, I like putting the wheel right under the car as an extra layer of protection. All right, just in case. You never know. It is Harbor Freight jack stand. You never know if it falls. All right, you ready for the next step? All right, at this point, we're gonna have you remove the brake caliper. So go ahead and put it on. So look, you rotate it till you get it, and then go ahead and twist it off. There you go. So the brake caliper is held on by these two bolts right here. So one right there and one right here that he's taking off right now. Hold on. So it's moving the whole thing. Wait, no more? So at this point, since it's moving the whole thing, we got to put a wrench right here to hold this. So give me 1 second, I'll get you a wrench. All right. So I got you a wrench. So go ahead and place that right there. And go ahead and loosen. To the side. All right, now you can remove the wrench and we'll screw back a little bit. At this point, now we can remove the brake caliper. So when you remove the brake caliper, you don't want it just hanging because it'll ruin the brake line. So you never want it hanging. So what you could do is you could grab a piece of hook or any kind of, like I'm using a bungee, and I'm propping it up here on the spring. See? So I'm propping it to where it's not, or you could prop it like that, where it's not putting no stress on the brake line, okay? So at this point, very next step is you could remove the brake pads. So these are the brake pads. So you just slide them off. These brakes are actually pretty good still, but we want to replace the rotors anyway, so we might as well replace the brake pads too. So you slide those off like that. All right, now we're gonna remove the caliper bracket. So this is a little heavier, so you might want to use the other hand to hold this up while you unscrew it. There you go. Now pull it up. All right, now take out the brake caliper bracket. Take this whole part out. There you go. Now place it to the side. All right, the next step, we want to get the rotor off. How do we get the rotor off? There is 2 Phillip heads screws on each side. So you have a big screwdriver. This one's hard, so it won't come off. What about this one? Oh, this one's pretty easy. So we go ahead, take that off. Now for the hard one, there's a special tool that you can use. You could either hit it with a hammer and a stamp to loosen up the rust, or you can use this tool that I have, which I have for you. So go ahead and give me the hammer and the tool. Yes. Awesome. So this is an impact screwdriver. So you put it on there, and then when you hit it with a hammer, it rotates it. So let's see what. All right. All right, go ahead and hit it.
Here?
Yeah, don't hit me. There you go. So look, it spun it loose. So you go ahead and take it off like a regular screw. Pretty cool, huh? Set that to the side. All right. And go ahead and pull the whole rotor off. You gotta lift it, it's a little heavy. All right. Now go ahead and show the camera that you got it off. Is it heavy?
Yes.
All right, I'll place it down to the side for you. So, as you can tell, it's in packaging, right? What warehouses do when they put it in packaging, they put some kind of oil or grease on it so it doesn't rust in the warehouse. So, to get all that off, what you want to do is use some brake cleaner and a paper towel, and then just you can spray it on it, or you spray it on a paper towel, and then just wipe all that oily grease off of it. All right. Place that to the side. So right here where the rotor makes contact onto this part, this is where a lot of them end up getting stuck. So what you want to do right here is you want to clean this area too. So to clean that, you can use a wire brush, but I just go with the brake cleaner and a paper towel. Now that it's clean, the rotor's ready to put on. I'll go ahead and help you with this part. You want to line it up. Alright. Now, go on that side. Now, you remember these little screws that we took off? So you go ahead and you place them in there to hold the rotor on. I'm going to have you tighten. Yeah. Go ahead and tighten them. Righty. So righty tighty, lefty loosey. So it's clockwise, it's righty. Good job, dude. You ready for the next step?
Yes.
All right. At this point, you grab the brake caliper holder, and then you want to take off the metal clips. So see how that came off?
Yeah.
Bam. Look how easy that is. So for these areas, you want to clean them as well. Just like how I cleaned the spot before we put on the rotor, the hub. You want to clean these as well. So not only do you want to clean the areas where the metal touches, I like putting some anti-seize lubricant on it. So where metal touches metal, I use some of this. Alright. So I just splash it on there.
Spread it.
Spread it on there. Where all metal touches.
If you don't remember the metal touches.
You'll remember, you can just look at it and you'll be able to kind of tell where the metal touches. Alright. So you want to grab the new hardware. So a rule of thumb, you can match it. You can match it to the old ones to make sure they match up correctly. Alright, so these match up correctly. So you want to go ahead and place it. So at this point, we could put this back on, right? So you can move the old ones out the way. Where's the bolts to put this back on? Right there. So you you already knew where you put them, right? So you could go back and be able to put it back on.
Yes.
Before we do that, I want to show you how to lube the sliders. Alright, so what I want you to do with the sliders, so these are called the sliders. So, you see this part? You want to grab the rubber thing and then you want to pull this out. Alright, so look, I got it off of that part and you just pull it off. So you want to do one at a time because both of these sliders are going to be a little bit different than the other. So what I do is
Wipe them off.
I grab a paper towel, I wipe them off completely, and right here I have some silicone ceramic return brake parts lubricant. So I just coat it all on it,
Kind of looks like pudding for the cake.
and then you spread it all on the slider. All right, and you just slide it back in, all the way in until where the rubber falls back onto it. So you see how I did that?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So if you didn't notice, the other slider had an extra piece on that end. So that's why you want to do it one at a time. Put on the brake pads. So got that one on. I'm gonna go put on the back one. Now they're all lined up. And they're perfect. So at this point,
Why?
check this out.
Yeah.
You can take this, take the bungee off.
Gee.
So we want to put the brake caliper back on, right?
Yeah.
But look, it won't let us put it on because the piston is out. Because the more the brake pads wear out, the more the piston comes out. So we have to get that piston back in. Do you know how I do it? Alright, so I'm gonna pop that right there.
Don't let it go off.
Don't let it fall.
Why would they let this go?
We don't want it to fall. Okay. So what I do is I grab one of your old brake pads. You can place that right there. I grab a C-clamp. So this is called a C-clamp.
Yeah, you can put something like right here, and then if you still have space, I'll go all the way over there, and then I'll stay there.
Alright, so with the C-clamp, go ahead and come on this side. With the C-clamp, check this out. So when it's like that, you see as I'm tightening it,
Yes.
the piston is going in. See that? Pretty easy. Piston's maxed out, so now we can loosen the C-clamp. Pull the C-clamp off. Take this old one off. Alright. So now that we put the piston all the way in, you see that? So the piston's all the way in. Now we can slide it on. So look, check this out. You don't want to force it because remember these sliders? You want to push the sliders in so that way it goes to it. Now go ahead and give me one of the bolts. All right, and just like that, I straightened out the wheel so he could see, and I also bled the brakes, and he heard the piston close, right? So the piston closed on it, so it's nice and bled, and look at that. That looks pretty good.
The one like
How does that look?
good.
You like the new rotor?
Yes.
So we got a brand new rotor and brake on here, right? So now we're gonna do the vice versa step. And we're gonna put the wheel back on.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
So another thing to think about, when I tighten these type of things, you want to go cross pattern. You don't want to go in a row because then they get warped. So I do this one, and I'll go to this one. Alright? And then from this one, I go to this one. You did that. From that one, you go to this one. And then that one's your last one. Go ahead and place it where it needs to go.
Okay. Right there.
Right there?
As I can see, I'm also doing
Now
it in
that-
loops.
Now when it's jacked up, you want to reach back,
Get that going.
pull the jack stand out, and then to release it, I'm gonna teach you how to release it. Yeah, you gotta go counterclockwise. It's a little hard, huh? Go, come on. Bam. So, I don't take the jack all the way out. From this point, this is when I torque the lug nuts to the wheel, so the wheel doesn't fall off. Release it all the way down, pull it back up. And that's how you change your brakes and rotors.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It looks
Huh?
fabulous.
If you were to rate it on a difficulty scale from 1 to 10 of how hard it was, 10 being the hardest and 1 being the easiest, what would you rate it?
I would say, of the hard, I would say like 6 or like a 5/4.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There is some hard parts, but pretty straightforward, right? All right.